What is one bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Getting a car payment at 18 years old.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life before?
Probably purchasing a new car.
Customer has a car payment on a car with 227,000 miles. Whose fault is it? The dealer that sold it, the bank that financed it, or the customer that bought it?
My APR was like 20%, bro.
When a paid off car will make you never want to buy another vehicle.
I regret getting a car note.
I bought my dream car when I was 27, and this is why I regret it.
One of my biggest financial mistakes from my early 20s is something that we do all the time, and it's that I purchased a car that was brand new and it was worth about half of my salary at the time.
Car payments. That's what we're talking about right now. There are many people out there wishing they never got one. It's one of the biggest wealth killers there is. So let's get down to it. Let's talk about it and let's look at some of these numbers because some of this stuff is staggering. Let's go.
When a paid off car will make you never want to buy another vehicle, especially with the APR rates that they currently got. They look like credit card rates. Y'all just nonchalantly paying $1,100 for a car payment. Baby, I wish I would. That 2016 will stay with me until my son turns 16. And then I'm going to pass it on to him. And hopefully by then, the economy done got a little bit better. I'm being real with y'all. I don't even have $1,100 for rent, so I know damn well I ain't got it for no car. And then they want you to keep the car legal. They want you to keep the insurance on it. Keep the tag up to date. Baby, go ahead and suspend my... Now I see why everybody getting bikes and scooters and four-wheelers. I'm about to go through the woods, too, to get to work. You can have one or two things. You can either have a car or you can have a house. I think I'll take the house. I could just Uber. I have no social life. I go to 4 places during the month. There's no reason for me to even pay for that. The gas gonna been and went bad by the time I went somewhere else. And then you can go to that car lot right now and get that car for $40,000. You drive that to the red light. It done depreciated in value. That now $40,000 car is $22,000.
She's preaching some wise words of wisdom right there, let me tell you. Not to mention insurance and taxes and registration and maintenance and tires and all these things that cost. The cost of owning a car just keeps going up and up and up. And the interest rates on some of these cars is staggering. I mean, I have a 2011 that I bought brand new in 2011. I've been driving it ever since. Got 100,000 miles on it. And I'll drive that thing till the wheels fall off. And I would say I've still got another 150,000 miles left to go on this bad boy because it's paid for.
One of my biggest financial mistakes from my early 20s is something that we do all the time, and it's that I purchased a car that was brand new and it was worth about half of my salary at the time. And what's so funny about it is I literally walked into the dealership being like, I'm gonna buy a used car because I knew that buying a new car was a bad financial decision, even though I knew pretty much nothing about finance. I was sitting down and comparing my options between the car that was a couple of years old but was the exact same car and the new car. When they broke down what it was going to cost me on a monthly basis, what I looked at was like, wait, but this used car is only going to cost me like $50 less a month than what this new car is going to cost me. But what I really didn't understand was, well, that $50 a month or $75 a month, the opportunity cost of me putting it into a car that was going to depreciate the second that I drove it off of the lot versus me having been in my early 20s and investing that $50 to $75 a month, that didn't even register. I didn't know anything about that. We just focus on what the monthly cost is. It's so easy for us to just go with the more expensive one.
Not to mention, if you took that car payment and put it in the S&P 500 for the next 30 years, you're going to be a millionaire. Or you used it to buy a piece of real estate. If you use that debt note, that overhead, that debt to income ratio that you're putting towards a car to buying a piece of real estate, that first house, that first rental, that piece of just vacant land that you could use to start a business, you're sacrificing so much wealth. When I bought this house, I think I paid $67,000 for it. I got a note on it for a short amount of time before I paid it off, but I got a note on it. The note on it was $250 a month. Okay, that's a car payment. And I bought it and I put sweat equity into it, and now it's worth $350. And that was in 2017, March of 2017. Look at the wealth you would have sacrificed just because you want to impress somebody at a stoplight. Still drove my same truck. And another thing, if you're buying a truck or something that you can use to produce as in an asset, my truck has made me more money than I ever paid for it. I use it to haul things. I use it to renovate things. I use it to haul my tools. I use it to do everything. People even want to borrow my truck to do stuff.
car, not realizing it's going to cost us thousands and thousands of dollars over the long term, and not only thousands of dollars in just the cost of it, but also in the interest that we're paying. And it's so easy to be like, it's only $75 a month, but $75 a month, I was 22, 23 at the time, $75 invested for 42 years, which is the amount of time that it would have taken me to get to retirement. That could have gotten me $310,000 extra dollars in retirement. It's so easy to just focus on the monthly cost of things, but that's what ends up costing us a lot more money long term, and it's money that we could have been using for other financial goals. So just something to think about if you are in the car market right now. One of my biggest financial mistakes from my early 20s is something that
Not to mention, just pay cash for the car. Whatever you can afford to pay cash for. Because you're sacrificing your future wealth on that car payment. It's eating away at your monthly income, which is your biggest producer of wealth. Dave Ramsey's right on this stuff. And as a millionaire, this guy that made it there on my own, from dirt floor poor, the way you do it is not by incurring debts, buying assets. Buy a house instead of that fancy car. I'm just telling you, get one you can pay cash for, beat around, don't worry about impressing people. Impress them with your financial statement, not the Rolex on your wrist you paid for it with a credit card.
The one bad financial decision that you regret making in life.
Getting a car payment at 18 years old.
Yeah? What kind of car you getting?
I got a Chrysler 300.
What was that interest rate like?
That motherfucker like 27 something.
27? Are you serious?
Dead ass.
Like you capping or you telling the truth?
No, I'm dead ass.
What was that payment every month?
It was actually like, I think it was like 4 something.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was like 4 something.
Dang, okay. And why would you say that was a bad financial decision?
Because I didn't have a consistent job.
Oh, for real?
So I was like working like security, so it wasn't no consistent.
Yeah. How was you making the payments? Like, if you didn't have the bread, you just borrowed, like type?
Nah, whenever I got the check, I paid it.
Yeah. You still got the car to this day?
Hell no.
Traded it in, or you got rid of it?
Got repoed, man.
You got repoed?
Yeah.
Damn, then you got to get your credit back up then, huh?
For sure.
Okay. And then what kind of car we driving nowadays?
Now, I have a X5 and a Nissan.
I regret getting a car note. And it's not even because I might not have the money to pay my payment or something like that. I really just regret getting one because it's just very inconvenient and it be in the way. Like, it's just really an unnecessary bill. And it really showed me that when you get a car note, it's because you want something nice and you can't afford it, and leasing and credit and stuff like that, it makes a way so you can get things that you want that you can't afford. But it's like like them payments be in a way. It most definitely be in a way, and especially at my age, because it's so much I want to do. If I ain't gonna lie, if I could today, I would let come pick that car up and I would go save my money and go buy me another car. Just because it just be in a way for real. And this is really for the people that's thinking about getting one. It's not for people that already have one. I mean, yeah, use the comments to speak your truth, but come on now, be respectful.
Be careful with this stuff, guys. Let me tell you, there is a running joke, and I've said this many times, in the real estate market, anything over 10% you're not catching. The amount of wealth you sacrifice by these cars is what keeps you in poverty. That is what is separating the haves and the have-nots, is these consumer products that you're paying interest on, and it's eating away your income. It's eating away at your ability to get leverage at the bank to buy a piece of real estate. If you don't have the ability to, you got to get away from these car notes. To this day, it hurts me to think about buying some of these cars. I mean, you're talking $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for a nice truck right now. Like, that is pure insanity to get from point A to point B. If I had my way, I would ride a bike everywhere and I would save every penny I got. I would retire young. Like, you can retire young. You've just got to stay away from these car notes, and these credit card bills, and these overpriced houses. You just got to live within your means, have an emergency fund, don't drink too much, and stay out of debt. You're a slave to the lender is what you are. If you take on debt, it's written in the Bible, it's a real thing. Debtor is slave to the lender. Because every day you're going to go to work to pay that person. If I had to do my young years over again, I would have stayed out of the bars. I would have took that money and that time, and I would have joint ventured with somebody to buy a piece of rental real estate at like 19 years old, 20 years old. I would hustle my butt off to find the deal. Then I would go find the money. And if I didn't have much money, I'd partner with a buddy, a family member. I would get them to pull some money in to get a down payment on a property. I would sleep in the corner in a hammock. And every morning I'd wake up and I'd start swinging a hammer to make a house better to get equity. And by the time I'm 22, 23, I'll have done that 2 or 3 times. And I'd have renters in those bad boys. And I would do that until I was 30. And I would pull myself out of poverty by the sweat of my brow. Get you a job. They can get you some money that you can get leverage on some real estate, joint venture with somebody else with the same goal, have it contractually bound what each of you are going to do, and go and get a piece of real estate that you can make equity in and claw yourself out of these freaking car notes, man. They were robbing you of your wealth. You got to stop doing this.
I bought my dream car when I was 27, and this is why I regret it. At the time, I had recently gotten a raise, and I thought I was on the path to making a lot of more money. So I went and bought a Tesla because it was one of my goals. You see, the people in my community were making a lot more money than me, and I wanted to fit in as an entrepreneur, and I thought buying a nice car was the way. This is what I know today. The money that I spend on my monthly car payments, I could be taking my family to Disneyland every month. I could be living in a much nicer neighborhood. I could be saving money so that we could actually buy and own our own property. I could have reinvested that money into myself and my learning and my education. I could have reinvested that money into my business, advertising and scaling my business. I could have used that money to hire help to help me achieve my goals in my business. I share this story with you because if you're an entrepreneur who wants to grow, who wants to scale, and you see these people who are driving fancy cars and all these nice things, like honestly, that's not going to help you grow as a person. That's not going to help you grow as a business. So remember to focus on what actually matters. It ain't fancy cars.
One of the biggest mistakes of an entrepreneur is trying to live out of their business before they can. And they go and try to expense cars. They try to expense stadium tickets. Can't do these things. You can make it so much easier by bootstrapping. That's why you see all these pictures of these young entrepreneurs in their garage, stupid old clothes, eating ramen noodles, because they're bootstrapping it. And it is possible. I've had a couple buddies that have done this, went and got Raptors and Teslas and diamond rings and Rolexes, and then they couldn't make payroll. It makes life so much harder when you do these things.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life before?
Probably purchasing a new car. I did it in 2020 when the pandemic. So, I mean, prices was a little low, but I mean, having a car payment is crazy. Like, I should have just kept my 2016, but I was trying to flex, and I got a 2020, and it went, I'm still paying it.
I mean, with today's prices, any car you buy, you're going to lose $10,000 or $15,000 like that. And then when you think about pre-tax, post-tax dollars that you got to make to pay that back, you're probably looking at, let's say it's 10, you're going to be paying 15 with interest to just sign on the dotted line and say you got a new car. It's always best to get a good used car. If I were to buy a new car today, like I would say you probably need a good net worth to do it. Pay cash for it. Wait until you get $1 million net worth, $500,000 net worth, pay cash for it, be done with it. But drive your old car until you get there. If you can't buy it twice with cash, you probably shouldn't buy it. And that's what's keeping so many people in the poverty gap right now. You're like, oh, why can't I get ahead? It's that car in the driveway. It's that house note that you couldn't afford. If you could have got a littler house, stayed in it for a little while, got some equity, and then took that tax-free gain to your next property 2 of the last 5 years, if you owned it 2 of the last 5 years, life is easy. This is what's keeping people poor.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life?
Financing a vehicle with bad credit.
Why, they gave you a high interest rate?
Hella. My APR was like 20%, bro.
Yeah? What was that payment looking like?
I mean, it was still cool. Like, it was $400 or $500, but like, for a car, you feel me?
Yeah, what car was this?
Chevy Malibu, 2009.
But you needed the car at the moment, right?
Hella. You gotta have wheels to survive in Cali.
Sure, hands down. Okay, let me ask you this.
And what's wild is our society is built now to where you have to have a car. Everything's so far away. Nothing's within bike distance, walking distance. So they fixed it to where you have to make that car insurance payment, that tag, that maintenance, everything involved with a car right now is a total scam. You can't ride the train anywhere. There's no bus service that takes you anywhere. You're considered a low-class individual if you've got to ride the bus or anything like that. You could have $1 million in the bank, throwing $50,000 a year out with interest, and people would look like you're a poverty, lowly person if you're trying to ride a bike somewhere every day. Or you're catching an Uber, or you're riding a taxi. Like, honestly, the amount people pay for cars and everything, they could just Uber and bus everywhere and probably be fine. Like, my brother-in-law, he rides the bus, has his bicycle, he gets anywhere in town he wants, costs him just a couple bucks. He just walks the rest of it. He gets by just fine. He's not embarrassed by it at all. He's got a paid for house, got money in the bank, and he's got no worry over maintaining a car. Like, we look at this stuff so wrong. I see many people every day where there's a homeless guy on the corner, and that homeless guy is worth way more than that guy over there with 2 car notes, a house note, and credit card debt. I mean, paper to paper, homeless guy's worth more money.
The next dumbest mistake I made in my 20s is having a car payment. Why I say it was so dumb? Why are you gonna mortgage out your future with a car payment that's depreciated? And the monthly payment, I remember, was $449.72. I remember that because those payments was really hurting, man. The insurance was almost $400 a month. And the lesson I learned from that, don't let your ego drive you to get something that it's not worth. Because I said, buy the car cash so you don't have to worry about no car payments. I haven't made a car payment in over 10 years. The car that I have is over 13 years old. Got over 200,000 miles on it. Still running strong. I could put that in some type of investment. So that was a dumb mistake.
A car payment's a house over the course of 30 years, okay? Plus interest. Let me tell you, everybody says, oh, well, the rich people do this. No, they don't. The rich people are not going to do a car note. They're not going to go and do all the paperwork to leverage $40,000, $50,000. They're going to go out, they're going to swipe their card, they're going to do a wire transfer, they're going to drive the thing off the lot. They're not doing all this stuff. And if they are, then they might not be worth that much. Comment down below if you have a multi-million-dollar net worth and you have a car note. I think that would be pretty interesting. I mean, honestly, if you're a liquid millionaire, you're not dealing with a car note. I wouldn't. I don't have one.
Customer has a car payment on a car with 227,000 miles. Whose fault is it? The dealer that sold it, the bank that financed it, or the customer that bought it? This is a 2015 Toyota Corolla with 227,000 miles. At what point should you not have a car payment? This should be illegal. This car has way too many miles to be financed. And Santander, you got to be a franchise dealer. This was not from a small independent. This car was bought at a big dealership. You can even say this is predatory lending. That's crazy. More repossessions. Look, this is Chrysler Capital, right? This is prime credit, good credit customers. Scat Pack, you want to be cool, you want to fit into the crowd, repossessed with 20,000 miles on it. Beautiful car. Now, as dealers have an opportunity to buy it at a discounted rate. Who's responsible for all these repossessions? Is it the banks that continue to lend people money that shouldn't have a car? Is it the customer for being ignorant and buying a car they couldn't afford? Is it the school system for not educating people on credit? Is the president for the country not in its best economic state? Whose fault are these repos? I'm a dealer. If you ask me whose fault it is, I blame the customer. I try to sell what you need. You want to buy what you want. It's not my fault you bought a car you couldn't afford. Because if I tell you no, you're going to go to Henry across the street and buy his car. So I might as well make the money to feed my family.
Yeah, that's a very interesting concept. Comment down below what you think about that. Should you be able to finance a 220,000 mile car? A car that's got that many miles on it at 4 to 6 years on a note. I mean, the car will be completely worthless in 4 or 6 years. Like, should you be able to do that? Or should the buyer have to have the common sense to not do that? I don't know. I just feel like these are predatory loans, but at the same time, if somebody's willing to buy it and somebody's willing to lend it, why not? I mean, I'm a capitalist, but comment down below what you think. That car is probably, what, $3,000-$4,000? You should just work until you get $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, you could do, work on the weekends side of the year or a few weeks and work during the week, and you should have that inside a month and a half if you really wanted to hustle. I mean, you could go scrap metal and pick up that much.
Do y'all want to know what is worse than my Tahoe payment? You guys thought that was bad. Wait till you hear this one. It's my husband's truck. My husband drives a 2020 GMC AT4 Sierra 1500. We bought it in August of 2022. Financed it for $78,000. He still has a remaining balance of, I think it's $72,000 or $74,000. I haven't really checked recently. His payments are $1,600 a month. So y'all thought my $1,400 Tahoe payment was bad. His truck payment is $1,600 a month with an APR of 14%. So yeah, y'all stop coming after me for my bad finance decisions and go after him because he fucked up too. Too bad he didn't buy his truck for him. I did. So yeah, I messed them both up. Oops. So maybe we should just let his truck get repossessed and keep the Tahoe because a $1,400 Tahoe payment is a whole lot better than a $1,600 truck payment. Or maybe we should just let them both go back because we have the Audi now and don't need either of the car payments. Do y'all?
I mean, I don't know if it's satire or not, but even if you're a multi-millionaire, that's still stupid. The only way I could think of doing this is if you're buying them through a business and you're getting a tax deduction, like depreciation and all that off of it, like cool, but still that's a lot of moving around to do that, and at that interest rate, it still doesn't make any sense. I see a lot of guys have businesses and they try to have all these tax deductions, but there's recapture on these vehicles that you're going to have to pay in the future if you don't ride this thing into the ground. And I don't see it making mathematical sense to take that type of leverage out on a vehicle for taxes, okay? Pay the taxes, put the money in the bank. That's the whole point of trying to make money, is to make money, put it in the pocket, okay? And you keep the money, not expense it out. I've never understood that concept, but this is crazy. Even if you're a multi-millionaire, you don't need these type of vehicles. A lot of the millionaires that I know, especially between $1 and $5 million, probably even $8 million, they have an average older vehicle, we'll say 3, 4, 5 years old. It's great. It gets them from point A to point B. It's a Tacoma, a Toyota, a Tundra, and they're doing great. Or it's an F-250 and they expense it through their business. But that's stupid. Like, I don't care how rich you are. Like, there's common sense in some of this stuff. Unless you're like ultra wealthy. Like, then you can do whatever you want. Like, if you're Dave Ramsey rich, you can get whatever truck you want.
This is what it looks like to have a high interest rate on your car. The car that I'm going to use for this example is going to be a certified Elantra. This is probably a 2024 or 2025. These cars hover around $22,000, $23,000. Now, if you go to the dealership with troubled credit, your interest rate is going to be high. Let's just say your interest rate is 22%. The payments that you make on the car barely even touch the principal of it. Let me show you these numbers. Everything's plugged in. $23,000 selling price, 7 months. You have bad credit, so you get a 22% rate, and you're going to put $1,000 down. Now, this is where it gets interesting. When you first take delivery of this car, you're going to be borrowing $25,524. Now, this is what your payment cycle is going to look like for the first year. This is a full diagram that shows you how much of your car payment is going to the interest and how much is going to the principal itself. As you guys can see, the interest on this side is more than double the principal. After 1 year of making payments, your ending balance is only $23,221. That means for the 1 year you were making payments, your balance only dropped down $2,300. So guys, think twice before you take that high interest rate at the dealership.
This is basic math. It doesn't work out. You're going to wind up owing so much money on this car. You'll have bought the car twice or more, even if you make it that far. And then you're probably going to wind up with negative equity in the car, and you're going to roll into the next car still owing on the last car, if they'll even take it, because if you can't refinance it out because you're in negative equity and you don't have any money to bring to the table, you're probably not going to be able to do that either. But can you imagine rolling these things into each other all the way down the line? This is bad. This is a bad idea, and young people are doing this over and over again to what? Impress some girl at the club that you won't even know her name in 2 or 3 years. And if she's not going to marry you for your car, she's not the right one. I'm just telling you.
The most. Matt, car loans, car payments, it's my worst type of debt. If we had a rate debt, for me, it's the most annoying. you know, student loans, you get a degree, it's stupid. That's probably second. Like, I mean, like, you know, credit cards, people are like, we pay it off every month, whatever. So if we rate the debt, car loans for me, it's the dumbest
And it's
debt
the
that
one
you
we
can be
justify the most.
Mathematically speaking, when
It
you
is the
just
dumbest.
look at your finances, it's the dumbest thing that you can do with your money. It really is, because you're borrowing money, paying interest on something that's going down in value. It's not an asset. And it's for what?
I heard somebody say a while ago that you have to have a car payment. You have to have a $40,000 car. What's wrong with having a $40,000 car payment? Yeah, that's going to cost you $65,000 in the course of paying your car off, and it's the number one robber of your wealth, of your income. This is a bad idea. Do what you can afford. Do what you can pay cash for. If you have to, put a large sum down on the car and get over that principal interest threshold, and try to do this sanely. This is just my opinion. I want to know your comments down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? What's your, scenario? If it was me, I'd buy a truck. At least a truck you can use to do things. You can start a business with. You can haul things. You can take stuff to the dump. You can move things. It has a utility to it. But for a car that just goes the speed limit, I don't understand it. But that's all I got, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below. And if you're looking to buy real estate on the Gulf Coast of Florida, Alabama, or anywhere in the country, I can help you with it. My email is right below in the description box. And I'll see you guys on the next video, whatever it may be.